Hi guys.
Hi, Rachel.
Um, so not to start already emotional, but this movie was surprisingly nostalgic for me as somebody who grew up with Blue's Clues. I watched some of Joe's, but I was a little too old to complete it because I was born in
I respect that.
1991. So I,
Yeah.
I watched up through like 2003 or four and was like, this is time to stop. But like this movie is very emotional because it is a return for a lot of us. I don't have kids, so this is my return to Blue's Clues and seeing how cool this legacy has gone on with Josh and having Joe and Steve there was just so great. And so to start, Donovan, how is that kind of knowing that a bunch of adults are crying, seeing your face in a Blues Clues property?
Well, yeah, I live to make people cry. That's my thing. So yeah, anytime I can do that is great. No, it's really fun. Because this movie is enjoyable. For people who were familiar with Blue's Clues, or if you just happen upon this movie, I think you're gonna stick with it because, like, just watching what Josh is capable of, and watching, like, and hearing some of the songs, it's got a magnetism to it. It's really really fun, and it's not just us, although that is a whole ton of fun. But you got BD Wong, Ali
Yeah.
Stroker, Alex Winter, Philippa Sue, Stephen Pasquale, my friend Max Darwin, like, tons of people in this movie. It was tons of fun to make, and yes, you will maybe at some point possibly show up for me and for Steve, but you will stay for Josh. Dude is capable of some real magic. It's enjoyable.
Yeah, and it's crazy because obviously, again, I'm an adult. I don't watch Blue's Clues regularly, even though it's why I like mysteries, I think. But Josh, you carry this legacy in such a way that is so like I was like, oh, it's kids are gonna like this in the way that I did with how you portray Josh and how you kind of continue the story that we all know and love so much. How is that for you as a performer, knowing that like you're seeing how everyone's reacting to the all three Steve's meme and like yelling because we're all so happy that
Yeah.
you're going to be part of that for a new generation. Like these young kids are going to grow up and be like, "Oh my God, it's Josh!" when they see you
Yeah.
anywhere.
Yeah, I feel really honored because I know, again, from experience, just like you, I know what it feels like to watch the show as a kid and to watch it with my little sister and then with my cousin. And this show is extremely personal to me because, and I imagine for you too, Donovan, because we bring so much of who we are to the role, even though it's a fictional character. The what we find funny, how we deal with situations, like, it's impossible not to bring yourself into this role. And growing up, I watched Mr. Rogers. That was the person that was my Steve,
Mhm.
before Steve and before Joe. And so I'm just really honored that I get to be here to be able to use the skills that I learned to get to Broadway and then to use them in a completely different but very similar capacity to be there for kids and for families. And the fact that I get to work with Donovan Patton and Steve Burns is pretty insane because they are actually great people and wonderful, wonderful friends. And it's always like a family reunion whenever we get the chance to work together.
Yeah, and it was so it like unlocked a memory that I didn't know I had in my brain about all of these songs. Like you started singing a song and I was just like, yeah, here I go, and just like kept singing. My neighbors probably think I'm crazy because I was like singing Blues Clues songs at like 12. But so
But what if they
obviously
start singing with you? What if they're like, you just start
we're
hearing
all
them
on
and then
board.
they're harmonizing with you?
They
That'd be
were
pretty
all on
great.
board. Well, speaking of harmonizing, what's so cool is Josh's are very much like part of his character. They are beautiful, like Broadway versions of these songs I know. And so for you, what has been kind of the fun of like getting to change up the format, but make it so unique to you and your skill set?
What's amazing is that way back when we first started, Steve and Donovan pulled me aside and they told me not to feel like I have to replicate anything that they did, that they loved that they love what I do, and to explore that and to celebrate that. And that gave me permission to explore and to make mistakes, because I had never done a job like this before. They've had a chance to explore. And you can't really find anything new unless you're willing to make mistakes. And because of this, and because it's constantly evolving, P.T. Walkley, the composer for the show, has written so much amazing music, and it keeps evolving and it keeps pushing me. And I guess the point is that the show and this movie has pushed me in so many great ways to find things that, oh, I really enjoy doing this, or oh, I'm actually pretty good at this, or maybe I'm not good at this and I'm going to go work on it. So the show and the movie has been an amazing challenge. And again, I'll say it, it's a paid scholarship for me that I get to work with the best people in the business. The dancers in this movie are second to no one. They're incredible. And being in the room with them and watching them learn and be so committed and interpreting movement their own special way, it was incredible to watch and incredible to be a part of, and incredible just to be able to be in scenes with Steve and Donovan and to watch them do their characters, but in a completely different light, in a way that you can watch this movie if you don't have kids and have a great time. And so that's what's really exciting.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. Everyone was calling us their Spider-Man No Way Home, and this is my additional Spider-Man No Way Home, because listen, that meme, all three Steves, will delight me to the end of my days. But thank you guys so much. This was such a joy.
Thank you.